So I'm here with that Jeff Smith of the SQL developer team, and we've just pushed out Oracle12c, the new version of the database, the flagship. We've just pushed that out to OTN. I saw your blog the other day, and you've got a wildly popular blog, and I read it, and it actually said that you've done a lot of work with SQL developer to support 12c, and what exactly are you talking about there? What features are you looking at that's come out in 12c that you've added in support for, that you're exposing?
Yep.
What are you doing?
Before I excite everyone about the 12c stuff, just really quickly, SQL Developer, in case you don't know, it's more than just a t-shirt. It's the database IDE. When you install Oracle database, SQL Developer is right there in Oracle Home. It's also available as a separate standalone, and I'm pretty sure we're one of the more popular downloads?
Yeah, on OTN it's the top download after the database in terms of database related downloads.
We're not competitive too much, but we do like to brag about that a lot. Yeah, we have around 2.5 million active users, and folks love the tool because it makes them more productive. So we've been working on 12c features since 12c development started, gosh, years ago. My blog post basically was saying you don't have to wait for an update with SQL Developer, so when 3.2 to 20, which is the active version on OTN now, when you download that or if you already have it installed, as soon as you connect to 12c, we're instance aware, we will activate all of the 12c features. So we're not just 12c tolerant support, we're going to exploit things. So specifically, well, if we're playing a drinking game here in New Orleans, not that we would ever do that. The word that you would not want to do would be plug, because in Tom Kite's 12c basic talk, I think he used the word plug 400 or 500 times. You'll be able to manage your multi-tenant database features in SQL Developer. So in our DBA panel in the tool, you'll be able to work with container and your pluggables. You'll be able to unplug or plug a database in, change its state, manage the pluggable database properties individually, or work with the container database itself. Of course, we'll still support your normal 12c instances. So that's the big one people probably gravitate to first. Another sexy feature that I think people are going to like a lot is with data redaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that in Tom's talk. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, so for redaction, you know, in the movies, someone's suing to get public information and to help them with their lawsuit, and they finally get the data back, and the piece of paper is completely blacked out, and the only thing they can see is "duh" and Bob or something. And so redaction in the database allows developers, basically when they start designing the tool, to say, well, obviously this is important data, sensitive data. I think sensitive is probably the best word. And you know, salary, for example, you can say in SQL Developer, I'll add a redaction policy to this table. And so you can say randomize the numbers that come back when you query this data. So as long as you're not a privileged user, as long as you don't have a DBA rule, everything coming down to you out of the database is going to have that redaction policy applied to it. So obviously the tool will display the data with the redaction policies enabled, but you'll also be able to set those up and manage those. The cool thing is the data modeler, so Oracle SQL Developer Data Modeler, our sister tool, you'll be able to, at design time in your relational model, when you forward engineer that to a 12c database physical model, to enable and set up those redaction policies even before the database is created. So from the ground up, your important data is going to be secure. There's lots and lots of SQL and PL/SQL enhancements in 12c database that the IDE will be using extensively. For example, folks are really going to like the ability to page through SQL result sets. So you know, if you know the syntax and you want to run all that stuff in our worksheet, of course that's going to work. If you're migrating to Oracle database, maybe you have a consolidation project and you want to come to Exadata and the pluggable system architecture when that's available. SQL Developer migration projects can really, you know, take your SQL server or Sybase instances, move them over to Oracle. And we've supported that for a long time, but with 12c we have something called the SQL Translation Framework, or we can actually load our Java-based translators from SQL Developer into the database. So you can point your native SQL Server or Sybase application to Oracle, change the driver to connect over there instead, run your code as is pretty much, and we will translate that T-SQL on the fly and return the data back to you. So that's not a silver bullet. It's not like you don't have to do application migrations, but it does allow you at the migration project development time to very, very quickly collect that list of application SQL that is running, what's going to need to be translated. You can improve those translations in SQL Developer as you make changes to that in the database. They're applied live. So if you run the application again without changing any application code, your select 5 gets run. We see that. So that's really select 5 from dual. If you decide that's off a little bit, you make the select 5 from dual to select 6 from dual, hit OK. As soon as the application runs again, that's automatically picked up. So very, very quickly, you get to see your data that's in the database coming back so much faster because, of course, you're running in Oracle now. But your applications are going to be able to take advantage of that, even though they were written for non-Oracle platforms. So that's a lot of talking.
Excellent. Thanks.